Okay. Yeah.
Hi, this is Dwight Whitteman with MetroVoiceNews.com. I'm here today with Dan Culleny and Emily Baker, who are lead actors in the new production of Queen Esther at Sight and Sound in Branson. We're so happy to have you both here with us today. Let me start with you, Emily. How has this role changed you as a person in representing or portraying Queen Esther?
That's a great question. It's honestly grown my faith so much. It's, again, this role is one where you can't tell it truthfully and honestly unless it's true to you as a person. So for me, learning what that means to be still and trust that God is the one in control and that the pressure is off of me, being a performer, it's about telling his story truthfully and honestly and reminding these people that they are not alone. It's honestly such an honor.
Fantastic. Is there one message that a typical person would walk away from this production with?
That they are not alone, that God has always been there for them and always will be. And if they were to look at the details, they will find him.
Dan, that message really resonates today, especially coming after 3 years of COVID lockdowns and pandemic. Have you experienced any challenges in this production that didn't show up in previous productions for you?
That's great. Great question. Yeah, I've experienced some challenges in terms of some of the physical demands, some of the vocal demands and whatnot. There's a lot more to it. It's a very big show. And so I think everybody feels that a little bit. There were definitely those hurdles, but truly God proved himself faithful in that. And when I think the both of us in the beginning said, wow, this is an overwhelming process. There's a lot that goes into it, but he came through and we found that he is sustaining us big time in that.
So actors, you always often hear actors relating how a role has had a tremendous impact in them and in their life. For Christians, that's much more important because that impact affects our ministry to other people. Is there something that you some kind of message that you had in the production that impacted you that you see now, hey, this has given me empowerment to do this and that in culture or the community?
Yes, great question. Absolutely. A lot like what Emily said, just to be that encouragement to people when times get tough, that the Lord is there, that he's got them in the palm of his hand. And I also have two daughters, and so obviously this message speaks to me big time in that your identity comes from the Lord. It doesn't come from what anybody else says about you. Be content in that, and from there you can really thrive.
Mm-hmm. So Emily, I know our time is running short. What advice do you have for young people, particularly young women, in today's culture for moving forward, taking the role in the church, in the work environment, in the family? Is there a message that you have for them based on your own experiences in this industry?
Yeah, I would just agree and echo Dan that it is so important to know your true identity as a child of God, and that is it. That's all that matters. And so the things that society demands from us and the things that we want to look like or anything like that, it doesn't matter. God says who you are, and from there, that's when he gets to use us as a vessel, and we get to be outward facing and encourage one another and be there for one another in a way that I don't think we'd be able to do if we were so focused on ourselves.
Mm-hmm. This watching the production myself, I saw so much relevance from the biblical story of Esther to our culture today. It really resonates, I think, or will resonate with everyone who sees it. Do you see a future for these types of productions in influencing our culture in a greater way as more people become exposed to this type of theater? Emily, first.
I hope so. Yeah, yeah, I really do. I feel like these shows, they're obviously bringing the Bible to life, but these stories that God has written are for everyone, and everyone will leave with a piece of this show that really speaks to them. And so in this culture, it's so important to know what's right, to know what's true, and when the time comes to stand for it and to be ready to make the choice when God asks us to. So yeah, I absolutely pray that this show and the ones to come will just continue to spread and reach as many people as possible.
Very good. And Dan, you said you had two daughters. The message of Esther certainly resonates with women. But for you, some actors don't find it enjoyable to play a really nasty character. But we see Xerxes have a transformation by the end.
Yes.
How was that for you to help further that transformation in the role that you portrayed?
Yes, I will say personally, I do enjoy playing villains.
Okay.
Xerxes has been one of my favorites because he does have a character arc. You know, he's not just
Sure.
villainous. He's not just this crazy guy. He is somebody that has a lot of pressure and a lot of voices speaking to him. And so he has a huge character arc. In the beginning, you see him very angry, frustrated, and at the end, you see him in a place of peace, ultimately making the right decision. So it's actually been a lot of fun to play this role.
Yeah. You know, the production as it ends up, it's at the end, it's a feel-good production. I mean, it's a feel-good story. It doesn't seem that way in the beginning.
Right.
So I think everybody will enjoy coming here to Branson for Sight and Sound's production of Queen Esther. I'm here with Dan Culleny and Emily Baker, Queen Esther and Xerxes. So come on down to Branson and enjoy the show this year. Thank you both for spending a few moments with us and our viewers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bless you.